If you do not hear him, you are listening to your ego and making as little sense as the brother whose errors you perceive. This cannot be correction, yet it is more than merely a lack of correction for him. It is the giving up of correction in yourself. If I perceive you as sinful or evil, I must believe I am sinful or evil as you. Otherwise, I would not see you that way. Projection makes perception. The words sinful and evil are obviously interpretations for which we can describe behavior and list mistakes objectively. We can see that none of them deserves the judgment that others are not children of God. No mistake justifies the perception, really misperception, that people deserve to be punished because they are bad. Since seeing only innocence is difficult enough in our daily lives, imagine the difficulty on a national or international scale. The world is in such bad shape because the root of the problem is never examined. It would therefore be helpful to observe our reactions when people say things we do not agree with, or do hurtful things to themselves or others. If we catch ourselves reacting in any way except with peace, kindness, and understanding, we need to ask Jesus for help as quickly as possible, realizing that we are just as insane as those we are accusing because our reactions reflect having given away our mind's peace. This means we are listening to the wrong voice. While this is not a sin, it is nonetheless a mistake to choose the ego over Jesus. A decision that will never make us happy because it prevents our acceptance of the Holy Spirit's correction for others and for ourselves. The perfect ego solution in which no one wins and everyone loses. When a brother behaves insanely, you can heal him only by perceiving the sanity in him. If you perceive his errors and accept them, you are accepting yours. If you want to give yours over to the Holy Spirit, you must do this with his. Unless this becomes the one way in which you handle all errors, you cannot understand how all errors are undone. Your brother is as right as you are, and if you think he is wrong, you are condemning yourself. This is one of the central themes in Jesus' Symphony of Forgiveness. What we do to our brothers, we do to ourselves. We see in our perceptions of another what we silently have perceived within. Insanity or sanity, fear or love, sin or error. Judgment becomes the ego's weapon par excellence for protecting the Son's original judgment against God and for the separation. While letting go of judgment, the Holy Spirit's plan of forgiveness heals the dream and gently corrects the mistake of having misperceived God's Son. And as we accept the correction in our minds, we do so for the sonship as a whole, since minds are joined. Our right-minded choice reminds the world that it can decide similarly, healing us as one, for so we are in truth. Recall again the workbook lesson, when I am healed, I am not healed alone. It is not up to you to change your brother, but merely to accept him as he is. In order not to change ourselves, we always seek to change others. The ego's arrogance here is based on thinking we know what has to be changed, and that we are the ones to bring it about. Again, this does not mean we refrain from behaviorally responding to situations, but only that before we do, we first consider who will be our guide, the teacher of judgment or the one of acceptance. Choosing the Holy Spirit means accepting the inherent sameness that unites the separated fragments of the sonship in the insanity of sin and the sanity of forgiveness, the judgment of the ego and the vision of Christ.